Welcome once again to Oktoberfest weekend on our MidwestTour.tv live look-in. Thanks for joining us free on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I'm Jim Trado along with Dean Strom, Kirk Keenan, and the entire crew. We've been here for days. It's down to the Sunday, race day, and we're not just putting one show on for you. We've got a lot of racing here this afternoon. The Oktoberfest 200 will be the final race of the day, and Dean, we brought in some more racers to get a chance to race on this historic weekend.
It is 17 divisions, I think, that we race here over the 4 days. That is Oktoberfest race weekend here at Lacrosse Fairgrounds Speedway. It's more than just a race weekend, though. It's a reunion of sorts for drivers and crew members and fans to get together and camp for a couple of days, maybe take in some of the sights and sounds here at the Lacrosse Fairgrounds Speedway. But, of course, as you said, Jim, we all cap it off with the 200-lapper for the ARCA Midwest Tour, and it's going to be a great race.
So we have a couple of divisions added to the program. We've had racing throughout the weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and now Sunday. As you do a live look-in, we want to remind you, you need to buy in. At some point, we're going to go subscriber only. And for those who have subscribed thus far, thanks for your comments, your reactions, your support. You need to go to MidwestTour.tv to see every lap of the action today, because at some point later on, after we get some races in, we're going to switch off that free feed, and we're going to go on the subscriber-based only. So thanks for your patience. Thanks for your support. We'll remind you again, MidwestTour.tv is where you can go now at any point today and subscribe to this. You'll get a month of activity. You'll get all the ARCA Midwest Tour races we've shown thus far this year on MidwestTour.tv, as well as you can see this in a replay at your leisure with your friends if they can't join you today. We expect a full house of fans here as well at the racetrack. We have the 602. The Gandrud Chevrolet folks have stepped in. The Gandrud, what they call Cratetoberfest.
Cratetoberfest.
25-lap feature. We also have the
just for 1 sec, what's unique about that is any car that has that 602 crate engine can compete. So you'll see Midwest Series trucks. You'll see the 602 Outlaw late models. You'll see modifieds in action. You'll see sportsman cars in action, all racing on the track at the same time in the same division in that Cratetoberfest 25-lap feature.
And we're going to tease you now by saying there's a big payoff at the end of that 25-lap race. We also have the Upper Midwest Vintage here as well. Some historic cars, some cars that were bodied. Perhaps they were late models retired 15 years ago, but the bodies on them represent something really cool to either the individual or it has a historic tie to racing where they grew up and watched. So we're going to go down to our pre-race ceremonies for more. We are going to continue our coverage here. It's a live event. We encourage you to join us. Again, go to MidwestTour.tv at some point today and subscribe, because this free look-in on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube is not going to last forever. We want you to be part of this all afternoon long. We are now, all the cars are on the racetrack for an autograph session. They've just now rolled back to the pits. Every division that's racing here today, the fans got to go down, get some autographs from these famous drivers. And they had some great pre-race ceremonies as well, including 1970 Oktoberfest 200 winner Tom Reffner. And Tom Reffner was the first champion, and he's here with his wife, and he's very much part of what's called the Dick Trickle Memorial Project. It's a park in Random Lake, Wisconsin. To get things underway, we will start our pre-race festivity coverage here, the Oktoberfest weekend, on Sunday with our national anthem. Let's turn it over to the local track public address system.
Dad.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Miss Morgan Manstead, ladies and gentlemen, we would ask you to still remain standing. Please remove your baseball caps. as we once again present to you, as they will stop in front of the grandstands, the Wisconsin American Legion Riders Association District 7 under the leadership of President Paul Roraff.
So part of the opening ceremonies here at Oktoberfest, race day Sunday. Dean Strom alongside Jim Trato as the vintage cars take to the quarter-mile oval here, which is used here on Oktoberfest race day Sunday as a staging area and a pit area for the ARCA Midwest Tour.
Nice tribute here at the racetrack, part of the pre-race celebration. Some proud Wisconsin iron. Wisconsin's the home of Harley-Davidson. We're in the neighborhood of where old-style beer was brewed. The Oktoberfest Beer Festival in Munich, Germany. We rival that here in Lacrosse, Wisconsin every last weekend in September, and it carries on through, and that's part of this festive atmosphere. As the leaves change in this upper part of Wisconsin, about an hour and a half south and east of Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's a wonderful afternoon, a wonderful occasion to celebrate with us here. And as we roll, there's a lot to share with you. We also will carry the local public address announcers as they cover the action today. We'll call the racing as we unfold here, leading into the ARCA Midwest Tour Series finale, which is the Oktoberfest 200. That's our last race of a big day.
And Jim, I didn't realize this until we were at the drivers' meeting, how the dates are picked. It's 5 weekends. The 5th weekend after Labor Day is always when the Oktoberfest race weekend is here at Lacrosse Fairgrounds Speedway. So mark your calendars. We're glad that you're joining us here on MidwestTour.tv. But if it's a bucket list item for you, which I know it is for a lot of people here to come to Lacrosse Fairgrounds Speedway, Oktoberfest 2022, it'll be October 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Put it on the calendars.
It already is, and it's going to be, you need to be here. And there's actually a campers here. I have only seen this one other place in my life covering motorsports. Talladega Superspeedway has campers. We have campfires. You can smell the atmosphere throughout the week. The campers really start arriving already on Monday.
They did.
The on-track activity starts last Saturday. There's a set practice day. But in reality, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if you're not here by Wednesday with a camper, you may be having quite a distance to walk from the road on this fairgrounds to the racetrack.
They say it's 1,000 campers. And we know, Jim, firsthand people that come directly from the National Short Track Championships at Rockford with their camper, drive straight through to Lacrosse Fairgrounds Speedway so they can be in line on Monday morning to get their campsite.
We're flat out spoiled. Rockford Speedway has a wonderful year-ender as well, the National Short Track Championships. Oktoberfest weekend actually put on by the same group of people, the Deary family along with Greg McCarnes and the McCarnes family. They put on these big year-enders, and we are so fortunate to have an all-star cast and the great representation of the Upper Midwest Vintage Series. They are rolling on the racetrack. These cars represent quite a bit of history. I see a Terry Ryan copy out there, a Bobby Allison copy. And in that back row, if you followed racing around the area on through NASCAR, you'll notice perhaps a familiar yellow number 97 in the field as well for these Upper Midwest Vintage guys that are out here to play. We've got a couple of heat races, actually. A Mike Miller copy. Man, I'm getting geeked just looking at these. Sorry, we have a long day ahead, but that's part of the excitement you need to feel here in person. Thanks for joining us here on this wonderful afternoon on MidwestTour.tv.
Did you say Mike Miller? And then I think that's a green and black 93 Johnny Ziegler that is in staging. It'll be in the second heat. We're looking at the Alan Kowicki replica, that number 97. Of course, Alan Kowicki cut his teeth here in the Upper Midwest.
Yeah, and that radio station sponsor was his first big sponsor that he had. He ran that.
WLPX.
Those colors. It's a Milwaukee FM rock station. Mm-hmm. And through that sponsorship, he was able to gather enough money and interest to race in ASA, in USAC stock cars, and then he started traveling around the Midwest in some bigger shows. There's the Johnny Ziegler green 93. Yeah, it's really cool. And that Mustang on the outside of that car, the number 20. that red color on that car alone is just worth just drooling over. Then it goes fast on the racetrack, too.
So this is the Vintage Series. What you're going to see here are 2 heat races. The Vintage Series will be in action, of course, in a feature later on this afternoon. But these heat races for the Vintage Series will kick off our race day Sunday here, day number 4 of Oktoberfest race weekend.
This is your free live look-in now on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. At some point, we're going to switch things over to subscription only. So go now so you don't miss a lap. Go to MidwestTour.tv. As they roll behind the pace truck on this glorious final day of racing, we're going to turn it back over to the announcer team of Eric Hienefeld, Dan Diker, Kevin Ramsel, and Billy Doc Miles. They're going to be covering the action for us on some of these races here today, like they have done expertly all weekend long.
Justin Jessup coming into Black River Falls, driving that beautiful WLPX 1980 Camaro. OJ, you probably drove some of these cars back in the day.
Yeah, I took a few ladies to the prom in some of these cars. We never got home, but that's beside the point. And of course, the 50-50, folks.
Here we go. We're going to send them right now. We got 2 heat races with the Upper Midwest Vintage Racing Series, which will then lead up to their feature this afternoon.
That should be a fun feature event, too, with seeing these cars out there.
Billy Doc Niles, I know you've got the best seat in the house right there on the back straightaway watching these lovelies roll by.
You know, it's definitely a throwback, Dan, especially watching that yellow 91 on a Sunday afternoon at Oktoberfest race weekend. It is so cool, and it's so fitting on a beautiful day like this. We got the legends out rolling today.
Ray Burrows in that 1986 Bobby Allison Tribute Buick Regal takes to the top spot. Going to take a little bit to get some of these bigger tires and heavier motors warmed up.
It sure does, and I think there's a lot of fans in the stands right now going, man, I remember watching that car race when I was younger and such. You remember a few years ago, Steve Apel came, when he was part of the Quickie Driver Development Program, came to Oktoberfest with that 97 like paint scheme on his super late model.
Upper Midwest Vintage Racing Series brought to you by O'Reilly's Toy Box Rides at the Black River Falls. Thank you to Mike and Tammy Zindrick. A little bit closer quarters now for Ray Burrows. The 91. Well, you know, Roger Peterson used to have the original number 19 Moose Peterson car, the 55 Chevy. They retired that after Oktoberfest last year.
So where is it? Is it in a museum going into Smithsonian or something?
I
or
hope
what?
it's not in the weeds.
I was going to say.
But his new car is on a rail because he's going to take to the lead. Halfway home for Roger Peterson. Taking to the outside, Justin Jessup. JJ out of Black River Falls in that WLPX 97 Camaro. That's a good throwback.
It sure is. Yeah, like I was talking about, that classic Alan Quickie. He won that ASA race at the Milwaukee Mile with that car as well.
Billy Doc, do you remember when Bobby Allison Alan Kowalski won in that old 97 WLPX car?
I remember it running around here. Unfortunately, he never did win in Oktoberfest, but it was always cool to see him here. I remember that 91. I remember Bobby Allison bringing his 22 out here a couple of times for weekly shows. It is, like I said before, Dan, it's so cool. So cool to see these cars here with 2 laps to go.
So the Kilwickie throwback. Run that number 2 position. Roger Peterson, who used to run that Moose Peterson car back in the day with his dad, has his new Camaro. White flags out, heat race number 1. Oh, awfully close to the wall for Peters for JJ. Oh, here we go.
Boy.
Front straightaway. 53 Lloyd Wilkinson takes around the AMC Javelin. Please don't wreck these cars. I don't own them, but I would have a tear if I watched one of these wreck.
Oh, I thought that was dust in your eye. My bad.
From what Lloyd just kicked
Yeah,
up here in the
just
grandstands.
yeah.
No harm, no foul. Wilkinson's just a tad bit dizzy right now, but he'll shake that off with the green flag flies.
He'll probably have a cold one when he gets back to the pits as well, too, Dan, after that deal. So
It'll be a green-white checkered restart. Heat race number 1, the Upper Midwest Vintage Racing Series, brought to you by O'Reilly's Auto Parts. O'Reilly's Auto Parts, one of our sponsors of the radio show, Bill, and I might even let you sing the tag today.
O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Ow!
Oh, man.
Oh, there goes half of our attendance's breakfast.
Thanks for coming,
Why-
everybody.
Why did you encourage him?
All right, 1 to go. Got a pair of Camaros sitting here in the front row as Boone's Farm Mania is awake, alive, and kicking. All right, well, maybe 2 of them.
I think we're going to get green and white together here. I think this will be a one-lap shootout, Dan.
Bob Fitzpatrick out of Black River Falls picked up that orange 1970 Nova a couple of years ago. Used to run out here during the Vintage Series. And that's an actual Bob Jwala car. The actual thing raced all over the place back in the day.
Back during our teen years.
So again, Roger Peterson inside the 91. The 97 is JJ Justin Jessup. Ray Burrows in the Bobby Allison throwback number 22. Rob Fitzpatrick in the 4. We are back to green and white. Obviously, everybody remembering last year's vintage feature when Rich Bickle almost got himself a win. He ran against Larry Bolster. What a finish that was. Checker flag is out. Your heat race winner is going to be Roger Peterson. His 70 Camaro. Roger Peterson picking up the heat race win.
Hey,
Yeah, Roger Peterson will bring his car around at the victory lane to get our first feature win today.
How fitting is it, Dan, to see this yellow 91 48 years later back in Oktoberfest Victory Lane?
It's really cool for that side of the story. Number 2, they retired that 55 Chevy, the original Moose Peterson car last year. So this is its repeat. And, man, it is something else. OJ's going to be talking about some 50-50 here in just a couple of moments. And Billy Doc Niles going to take our driver down to the Wisconsin Lottery Quick Trip Budweiser A1 Storage Ultra Federal Credit Union Victory Lane before we bring out Vintage Racing number 2. ARCA Midwest Tour from front to back today. Cratetoberfest. Got about 30 entries in Cratetoberfest. A little of everything. Crate cars, Midwest Dash trucks. You've got modifieds. I mean, some of the best going to be up for that one.
I think it's the Midwest Truck Series who cut trucks who raced last night. I think James Swan was out there.
All right, here's your heat race winner. How about for Roger Peterson?
Roger Peterson climbs out of this beautiful yellow number 91 machine. Gets a congratulations from the mayor of Oktoberfest, Ray Locken.
Thank you.
Buddy, we were just talking. How fitting is it to have this yellow 91 back in Oktoberfest Victory Lane 48 years later?
Unbelievable. It's great. This is a 73 winner of the Oktoberfest 200, and this is it's great to see it back in the Victory Lane again. Too bad it took so long.
There's some big dogs in this next race. Can you hold them off in that feature later today?
I don't know. She's running a little hot. We'll see. We'll see.
Here's your vintage heat race winner. Give it up for Roger Peterson.
Already one to watch as we run them out for the Upper Midwest Vintage Racing Series presented by O'Reilly's feature later in the program. Concession stands, yeah, I can smell them up here. They're cooking up the hot beef like there's no tomorrow. It's coming right through the tower today. Barbecue sandwiches, hot beef. Look at those cheese curds that she just rolled by with.
Turn around, please. Come up to the tower.
Double cheeseburgers, homemade pizza. Randy Humfield reminding me that they do have Busch Light and Bud Light. A lot of it in there on a warm afternoon. Here's lineup number 2 in the Racing for Jason car. Jason Shadow is going to race that car on the point this year. He has developed ALS. He's now wheelchair bound. His family and the gang with Landsberger built that car to make it look like it does today, being powered by Jamie Dummer. What an outstanding tribute that is. Ralph Catone of Enduro has the Mike Miller Dairyland, number 80. Inside row number 2, Jim Kulseth. Won a couple of races this year at a Rosemont, Minnesota, the 1970 Mustang. Jim's race team, man, did they look flashy when we had them down with the festing at Grandeliers. That was kind of cool. We'll let you see what they look like before we send them free out of the back row. The 21 Sean Herzog in an 82 Camaro coming out of Wausau, Wisconsin. The 99 Coors Light Dick Trickle throwback. That is former late model track champion Todd Korish. The green 93 coming out of Holman, Wisconsin. That is Brian Lee. Tell you, Billy Doc Niles, you ran when Todd Korish won that championship here in the late models. He loves that Dick Trickle throwback car.
He loves that Dick Trickle throwback car. He knows the fast way to run this track, and it is still my contention he should give that championship back because he didn't win a single feature that year.
That's a hard accomplishment. He did. Todd Korish won our late model track championship and didn't have a single win that year, but consistency counts. Lights are out. The Pinsky Motors Quick Trip Power Pace truck. Racing for Jason. Chevy Chevelle is going to bring them off, and they are green. Understand that Ken Christensen is behind the wheel of the 24 today. Ken Christensen, of course, his son, late model driver Carter Christensen. To the inside goes Ralph Catone out of Mindoro, the Mike Miller, Dairyland, number 18. He'll take to the point.
I think Mike Miller's been roaming around the pits here at Oktoberfest this weekend, too. I saw a picture with I think him and Faye Hendricks the other day on Facebook.
That one, I was watching when they were building that car. They made that as precise as all the trickle throwbacks that we've seen.
Yeah, and the Coors Light trickle car, I believe, was for something he ran 85, 86 in the ASA series.
Brian Lee and Catone, Billy Doc Niles, you talked about it. Here comes Korish.
Yeah, Korish had issues with this car last year. I think he set a plug wire or distributor or something in there. He is a little bit bitter about not winning last year. He has vengeance on his mind this year.
Good battle for the lead on the outside with the Johnny Ziegler looking like car.
You know, if you remember back a couple of years, Brian Lee used to have the baby blue number 38 Camaro that he put up into the turn 3 wall, so he spent the offseason building the new car. Building the old new car.
Old, no, gotcha. Okay, I'm with you.
Got to do the quick math. Brian Lee trying to hold off the Coors Light 99 Dick Trickle Silver Bullet. Logjam all the way back with a Ralph Catone, Kenny Christensen, Jim Kulseth. And the rest of the game, 32, J.J. Meyer out of Holman, Wisconsin. That is a Dan Linehan, Todd Korish built car that they put up this year. They had it out here at first practice night.
Yes, they did, and slick looking car. I mean, you got to give credit to the hard work they put in. And like you said earlier, we just pray they don't hit the wall with these things.
No. Brian Lee's still doing a good job. That's a hard thing to do, is hold out Todd Korish in the Silver Bullet 99. And we may have our first photo finish of the afternoon. I'd sure like that.
I wonder how many fans are thinking back to the Arco days, watching Johnny Z and Johnny Ziegler and Dick Trickle doing this a lot.
Coming 3 with 1.5 remaining. Cratetoberfest is on deck. Drag race coming out of turn 4. White flag is out. 4 left turns and a front straight remain. Al, who's your favorite car race, fans? And we're going to go 2 by 2 to start off the 52nd annual 4th day of Oktoberfest. On the inside is Lee. The outside is Korish. Door to door, side by side into turn 4. At the line, it's going to be Brian Lee by half a car length. Brian Lee out of Holman staves off the late charge from Korish, and he'll end up in victory lane. Billy Niles down below to bring in the winning entry to the Wisconsin Lottery Budweiser A1 Storage Quick Trip Ultra Federal Credit Union Victory Lane. What take having a nice breeze working its way in here this afternoon.
We need it after a couple the humidity after and the dew point the last couple of days. It's nice that we get a nice cool fall afternoon here at Oktoberfest, and this is perfect weather to be watching a great race this afternoon with the Cratetoberfest, the Vintage, and the Oktoberfest 200. Down in Victory Lane, you can see Brian Lee gets his car parked in there, getting his helmet off. Billy Doc Niles is down there waiting for him. Nice looking car. Kind of resembles, like I said, Johnny Ziegler back in the day. He's out of the car. Here's take it down to Bill Doc Niles.
Brian Lee, what a great race with Todd Korish there. You had to be happy he couldn't get through the corners because you had a lot of good corner speed. He just had the straightaway speed.
I think Todd was being pretty nice to us.
Talk about, real quick answer, talk about this beautiful Johnny Ziegler tribute car.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's an 81 Camaro over an old left-hander chassis, and when I was a kid, I always liked Johnny Ziegler. He was one of my favorite drivers besides my dad. So when we decided to build the car, I wanted to do something for Johnny Ziegler.
He is your heat race winner. Get it up for Brian Lee. OJ, what do you have for me?
Well, we're going to talk about the 50-50. First of all, we got to let everybody know we're going to draw today at 2:30. 2:30, which is about 2 hours and 15 minutes from now. And we're going to have cash, of course, first place, and then second place will be $50 once we hit the 1,000 mark. And then Whiskey River Bar Grill gift certificate and that long, great big pizza from Features and Linda's Bakery.
I'm going to hear more from OJ here in a couple of minutes on what's on deck with the 50-50. James Swan is going to start things off. On the bump for our first Cratetoberfest race, Peter McVeigh out of Appleton, Wisconsin, outside road number 1. Let's wind him up, shall we? That's right, Christopher McQuality. Reline him up and stack him again. Again, your pole sitter, Tyler Noble, coming out of Arena, Wisconsin. Nice collection here. 302s, trucks, through the whole garage at this one. Peter McVeigh on the outside row number 1. Here comes the 1 to go. On the inside of row number 2 is the 9 of Adam Weebush. Down below number 16, Madison Larson, row 3. Joey Poprion driving the 7 car. 54, Destiny Bullard. And to round out the field of 30, Michael McKay out of Sparta, Wisconsin. First 8-lap heat race. It's Cratetoberfest at its finest, and we're green. Noble taking off out of a shotgun there in turn 2. Put the field behind him right off the bat. A lot of these modifieds. Going to be interesting to see how they can keep up with that.
Oh, look out. Got a little loose.
Yeah, Weebush got a little bit loose as he was heading into the Peter McVeigh 73. 7 of Poprion loose up in turn 2. All Crate Motors.
Pomperion trying to find a new groove.
3 heat races of them this afternoon. This is going to be interesting to watch trucks and modifieds and sportsmen all collected together.
Peter McVeigh looking on the outside. Good battle for the lead. Now it's a battle for second as they come off of turn 2. Tyler Noble continues to lead. Good side-by-side battle right behind him.
I'm going to see him and James Swan trade paint because they're the same colors.
They trade paint, but we won't see the difference.
Number 9.
Oh,
Weebush.
Oh, no.
Oh, hard shot in the turn 1 wall. Madison Larson head first into the auto value parts area of turn 2, and we are under caution. Fluids leaking already as Adam Weebush went sideways on the apex of 1 and 2, and there's the result. First things first, going to check on the driver, Madison Larson out of Mankato, Minnesota.
That was a hard hit going into that turn 2 wall there.
We had thought that Madison was going to go sideways. The car then turned to the right and went straight into the wall, and no reaction time at all for the driver.
Really had nowhere to go in that situation.
Billy Doc Niles going to head down to turn 1. Again, first things first, we're going to check on the driver. All right, race fans, he's slowly getting out of the car, but he is responding. Going to check out okay, a little shaken but not stirred. Wow, what a pound that was. Billy Doc Niles, what do you see down there in turn number 2?
The ambulance crew is just kind of checking on him right now, making sure he's okay. I'm going to stand back here and watch. They're still talking to him, and we'll give you an update here in just a second.
Just at the halfway mark, 4 down, 4 to go. With Noble obviously not wanting a caution to come out because we're going to restack up the field. Ladies and gentlemen, he is now fully out of the car. She is walking around down below. A little bit of a quick air-conditioned ride to get checked over the ambulance. But she's doing okay. Outstanding to hear.
Yeah, because that was practically almost a head-on hit into the wall. Like I said, she could make contact with Wiesbach, and she pretty much went for the ride. She had nothing else she could do to stop that.
What's going to be interesting is one of our entries, the 12N of Ty Majeski, got involved in an accident during practice. And so far, it does not look like Majeski is going to be able to compete, at least in that white 12M that he was practicing in. We had a couple of collisions during practice. Majeski and the other driver were involved in one of the bigger ones up in turn 1. So you never know. Ty could pop up at any ride at any given time.
If the guy has a gas pedal, has got a steering wheel, he'll get in it. We should probably remind fans, too, of what happens after the Cratetoberfest feature today. We got a couple big prizes to give away, don't we?
Got some big prizes to give away, but first is first. Billy Doc Niles up in turn 2.
All right, they got Maddie in the ambulance. You see it going down the backstretch right now. They're going to take her to her pit stall, check her out, make sure she's okay. The car sustained heavy damage. And for those of you who've raced cars before, you know what it's like to hit the wall square on with the nose, flattened right up to the engine block. So they got some work to do, but it's the good thing she got out and walked away, Dan.
All right, cleanup will continue in turn 1 and 2. Yeah, looking at the schedule of events for this afternoon, for those that are going to be heading into the grandstands here momentarily. So we have 3 Ganrud Cratetoberfest, 602 Oktoberfest heat laps to go. The Oktoberfest feature is going to be 25 laps this afternoon. The vintage cars are going to go 15 laps. ARCA Midwest Tour has the big 200 lapper. I tell you what, talking to a lot of the stars there in that pre-race autograph session.
Well, fans, as we're into this first stoppage in this heat race, we do have a replay for you on our MidwestTour.tv exclusive coverage of what transpired here to cause this caution flag and the fluid on the racetrack. Let's take a look. Into turn number 1. Look for the 4th car on the outside there. Black and red. Ooh, car ahead of him broke loose.
And right up in front of her, in her path, the driver of the 16 just nowhere to go. This is going to be a hard contact.
And it's a high-speed corner. I mean, there's no way you can slow down, especially with the car nicking you like that. Hard impact. And the fluid started flowing down the racetrack as soon as the car stopped. She was able to walk out, as we heard, and walk to the ambulance. So there's a replay of what transpired there. It can happen in a hurry. And we're glad to see that the safety precautions are being met when it comes to getting these cars safe and the driver's able to walk away.
This is the first of 3 heat races in our Cratetoberfest division. A 602 crate engine underneath the hood of all of these machines, whether it be a truck, whether it be a 602 Outlaw late model, whether it be a modified or a sportsman, all powered by a Crate 602 power plant.
Yeah, it's really an economic way to go racing because there's very few things you can do other than make sure the engine's plumbed properly. It's a sealed motor, so you can't really mess with it, and they're very durable. And the affordability comes into play when you have a season or 2 on these. I've talked to some drivers that race the 602, and now there's a 604 crate engine used in other disciplines on dirt. They go a season or 2 before they have to even worry about the engine getting freshened, which is a great money savings.
Yeah, it's just in the last couple of years that the Oktoberfest race weekend has hosted this Cratetoberfest. It's driven by the great folks at Gandrud Chevrolet, who are going to award 2 602 crate engines here at the end of their feature. The winner of the feature is going to get one, and then that winner of the feature will go over to the bucket with everybody who was in the main event.
Is my name in the bucket? Where do I put my name in the bucket?
And draw a pill, and that driver that's drawn will win a crate engine from Gandrud Chevrolet as well. So it's great support from Gandrud Chevrolet as we begin our racing action here at Oktoberfest. Day 4 of Oktoberfest, Jim. And the race fans still have time to go to MidwestTour.tv and sign up. Of course, the ARCA Midwest Tour is going to have a 200-lap season finale. We're going to crown a champion. We're going to determine who is going to be crowned Oktoberfest champion. And it's all under the sunny skies here in West Salem, Wisconsin. It's just it's a great opportunity. Obviously, you can't, if you're watching, you're not going to be with us. So why not go to MidwestTour.tv and sign up?
And several of these cars have raced throughout the weekend in different races. We saw the Midwest Truck Series race finale last night. They have one more race in their season. The Big 8 Series stock cars crowned their champion, John Reynolds Jr., last night. He didn't win the race, but he won the championship. So this is a huge weekend to celebrate.
Who was that?
Driver X.
X.
Driver X.
Hope you had a chance to catch that on MidwestTour.tv. And we have...
Driver X right there, baby. Got to do it every time you say John Reynolds Jr. 5-time series champ. Now, it's amazing to know how good he is after racing that quarter mile in Rockford, Illinois to perfection. He and his dad have raced a long time. John's still in the chassis business with left-hander chassis. Great to see how they get to play. But they go to a lot of cool racetracks. Up in the Midwest, we were spoiled, okay? Dean and I are both Wisconsin guys. Kurt Keen's a Wisconsin guy. We are spoiled by the amount of racing and the quality of racing we have here. And it's not the bump and run and dump the guy to get a pass. We race clean in this part of the country. And if you don't have a fast enough vehicle, figure out what lane they're not in and try to pass them. They'll leave you a lane to do that. So here we go back to racing. We'll turn things back over to our local public address announce team to call this Cratetoberfest heat race.
Noble again takes himself to the top spot, being chased down in a hurry by Peter McVeigh in the 73 machine. 2 other drivers are getting up close now. Christopher McQuality in the 4, and Paprion in the 7. For those that can see it heading into turn 1, we do have a mile-per-hour machine down here. Right there in the grass by the fence, you can really track how fast some of these machines are going. I saw an 89 flash on the board there just a minute ago. Noble turned a 97, and the 73 of McVeigh turned a 99. Wow, crates are flying. White flag is out, 1 to go. Late charge now by McQuality in the 4. Takes a look to the inside of Noble in the 7 truck. Does he have enough room to squeeze it in? There returns 3 and 4. Not yet. Can he get a run off of 4? Checkered flag is in hand. He's coming close. Oh. Noble's going to get the heat race win. Tyler Noble out of Arena, Wisconsin, your heat race winner. So Tyler Noble shows that a Midwest truck can get things done. Your first of 3 heat race winners. Working his way through the pits, he'll stop off and see Billy Doc Niles in the Ultra Federal Credit Union Victory Lane. Now Noble's getting notified to bring his Johnson's repair number 7 downwards.
This guy, happy crew member heading right. Looks like probably was a spotter. He was pretty pumped up when he came across the track.
I like photographer Doug Hornickel's do-rag this year. He's got the checkered flag thing going on walking through the pits.
He looks like a Harley photographer.
Looks like he's got a bag of hot shot candies too.
You know why he has to do that?
Best track photographers here on Oktoberfest Sunday, by the way.
It's really cool too that for the first time in about 20 years, able to get my dad to come up this year, and he's shot some real nice photos of you interviewing the drivers earlier today as well.
Arena, Wisconsin, awfully small but awfully proud right about now as their driver's about to peel out of his Midwest Truck Series ride. All right, here's your heat race winner. How about ever Tyler Noble?
Tyler Noble, your first 302 heat race winner. Congratulations, young man. Looked like a little more bite off the corner. Probably wasn't as close as it was.
Yeah, I hear you. It's crazy. I had a rough day last night here. It was awesome to get something here today, so it was fantastic.
Well, you're a heat race winner. You got a shot at a motor later today. Give it up for Tyler Noble.
All right, thanks, Billy Doc Niles. What to watch for as the feature gets compiled later on in the program. You get a chance down at Turn 1. Hey, stop by the Worldwide Technology Raceway Tavern. They want to remind you NASCAR Cup Series invades St. Louis in 2022 on June 5th. Hashtag Cup Time STL. Second heat race. Clayton Story out of Burlington, Wisconsin is going to take to the point outside row number 1 is Ethan Rose out of Reedsburg. Former Lacrosse Speedway Sportsman Track champion Dave Edwards on the inside of row number 2 in the 5. 25 out of Lonsdale, Minnesota, Eric Campbell. I know he's got the Boone's Farm Media crowd rooting for him down there. I want to say that Campbell's won here at Oktoberfest in the past. Yeah, he got a sportsman feature, I think it was last year or so. 66, James Story out of Burlington, Wisconsin. There's James Swan in the 97. The back row is going to have the 76 of Peter Moore coming out of McFarland, Wisconsin. And the last car out of Sparta, Wisconsin, he's the only driver to win an Oktoberfest feature in 5 different divisions. He's not won this one yet. Bad Brad Warthen.
You talk about Pete Moore. I wonder if he's got that motor he won here last year in that car today.
Oh, I bet you he does.
Yeah.
And he earned it, too.
Oh, big time.
Billy Doc Niles, you watched Brad Worthen raced for many, many years here. The only driver that we could think of that's won 5 Oktoberfest races in 5 different divisions, but this one.
Yeah, that's. I'm pretty sure you're accurate on that, Dan. 5 different divisions is an amazing feat. Wouldn't it be great to put something so high as 6 different divisions?
We'd have to build another division to make this thing work.
Or he's going to have to move up to a super late model or something.
All right, so Clayton Story in the 67 is your pole sitter. Outside row number 1 is Ethan Rose as the drivers get the 1 to go. Ganroot Chevrolet at Cratetoberfest. Talk to James Swan. He says, you know, if I win this thing, I win this thing. If not, he goes, this is a fun day for me. I'm not competing in the Midwest Truck Series, not in the super late model, the modified still at home, not in the Mid-Am Series. This is just a fun day for him to run.
Even when it's a Midwest Truck Series points race, it's still fun. Period.
It is. Story's going to bring him out of turn 4. Here comes Cratetoberfest Part 2. Gunnedag Niles, former sportsman champ. Dave Edwards in the 5, in the modified, knows his way around.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, Dan. The 5 car and the 22 car and the 97 car truck, for that matter, all know their way around this track really well. Should serve them well as far as experience is concerned.
48 of Ethan Rose will take to the top spot. Here comes Campbell. He's a Sportsman Oktoberfest winner. Can he get it done on Ganroot Cratetoberfest Sunday? Story back to 3rd. Then you've got the 5-car, former champion Dave Edwards and James Swan. That's a good 2x2 battle going on right there. Good run of a turn 2. Campbell's going to be in, around, and gone down the back straightaway. Your new race leader. He'll put Rose to the back. Eric Campbell, one of those kind of drivers out of Minnesota. It doesn't really matter what he brings here. He's awfully racy, and he drives this track like he's a normal Saturday night driver, Kevin.
No kidding. He's knows his way around this place as well. Hey, we got to tell you, these outlaw bodies look really cool on this track with most of them running in the 602 late models this year.
They've got a unique, well, the first thing that stands out is the front end. They've got such a unique slant that goes down, and everything else is kind of squared off. As James Swan trying to get rid of Dave Edwards. He does on the outside rail. His sights are now set in the 67 of Clayton Story.
Swan trying to get that outside groove to come into play and be an advantage for him. Hopefully for that feature race coming up in a little bit there for the Cratetoberfest cars.
It's Campbell, your race leader. Currently 2nd is Ethan Rose in the 48. Here comes Swan trying to battle Story for the number 3 position. 2 laps to go this time by. The sticks are in the air. Four car almost went 3 wide. They're over turn 2. 76 Moore decided to hit the brake pedal real quick. James Swan still not secure in that 3rd position. White flag is out. Here comes Swan. Swanee passed Pete Moore. Top 5 not settled. Does Dave Edwards squeak in past Clayton Story?
Take a look at the top 3. We got modified, outlaw, truck.
Checker flag is out. Your winner is Campbell. Minnesota's going to like that. Campbell's going to take the heat race win. Another one to watch for the Cratetoberfest feature. Remember, folks, not only does the Cratetoberfest winner get a new crate motor, he's going to draw a name out of all the contenders. They also get a crate motor, courtesy of Ganroot Chevrolet. Now, Boone's Farm Mania is going to be awfully loud here in just a second. He's got that same green and black that he had on the Sporty last year, so he's won Fest in 2 different divisions now. It was Campbell, Rose, Swan, Moore, Story, Edwards, Worthen, and James Story finishing your top 8. He won Fest here last year as a sportsman. All right, number 3 is going to roll out. Got some of the originators that were a part of this Cratetoberfest 2 years ago when it was introduced are going to be out here. One of the longest running late model drivers here at the Lacrosse Speedway, Tom Carlson, part of the famous Carlson Racing clan, he has jumped into a 602 crate, says, I'll never go back to a late model. I'm having so much fun. Had so much fun. Race number 3, blew the motor up in the Dells. And took about a month off and has had a good time ever since. Well, he is the defending 602 champ, so he can take his time getting up out of that car. See if he can win it back-to-back. Neck braces off, earplugs are coming out. Going to hear some loud noise coming into turn 1. Your Cratetoberfest Heat Race winner, how about it for Eric Campbell?
Eric Campbell, once again, backing up that Cratetoberfest feature victory from last year. I'm sure you could talk a little bit more now than you did last year at this time.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty emotional last year. That was a big deal for us, especially with the competition we were against that day. But, yeah, we're picking up right where we left off. The car's only getting better, so I'm really excited for the feature tonight.
Well, it's like the 3rd year in a row you've stopped to visit me. It's about your turn to buy a beer.
I'll take you up on that.
All right, your heat race winner, he's going to try and defend his title. Give it up for Eric Campbell.
All right, Ganroad Chevrolet Cratetoberfest Heat Race number 3. Leading them out
And
is the number 13 of Brandon Lang. Outside row number 1. Boy, these are some flashy looking rides. The number 6, Colton Morgan, coming out of Mazzola, Wisconsin. Row number 2. Looks like we have some more Midwest trucks that decided to jump right in. Cody Hoswart out of Mackenzie Park, Illinois, in the 21 machine. On the outside, he's always got some great paint schemes on that wall. The KVR Performance 81 of Jason Stark out of Sparta. The 1991 and 92 Oktoberfest Super Late Model winner, Tom Carlson, inside row number 3 in his 51 machine. He lines up next to the 41 of Bryce Miller out of Columbus, Wisconsin. Bryce also a truck winner, a Midwest Truck Series driver. Let's wind him up, shall we?
So you're looking in live with us here. This is our 3rd and final heat race that we have on track right now for the Cratetoberfest division. Of course, the 52nd annual Oktoberfest race weekend. Glad to have you with us. If you've enjoyed this live look-in, now is the time to go to MidwestTour.tv, MidwestTour.tv, and sign up. We've got more great racing action coming your way today. Of course, it's going to be headlined by the ARCA Midwest Tour and their 200-lap race. The only way that you are going to see that race is if you're here at the Lacrosse Fairgrounds Speedway, or if you go right now to MidwestTour.tv, MidwestTour.tv, and sign up. We're gonna cut off our live look-in here in just a moment as we get ready to go with the green flag on heat race number 3 for the Cratetoberfest division. But you want to go to MidwestTour.tv right now, sign up. You're going to have the library of Midwest Tour events at your access that you can watch all winter long when you're going a little bit stir-crazy here in the upper Midwest with the snow and whatnot. But you're also going to see live the 200-lap race for the ARCA Midwest Tour, the Oktoberfest 200. So go to MidwestTour.tv right now as we throw the green flag here on this 3rd and final heat race